So how do you feel about the event tomorrow? I think this is enormous and it's going to go down in the history books, but I want to know how you, Richard, feel about it.
I think we're in a good position to exceed expectations because I believe expectations have been set low.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how different this is than me just coming and saying hi in a room.
Yeah.
There's no similarity.
Yeah.
There's none.
Yeah.
So like I think that we're going to really, and because they're live streaming it, I think people are going to feel like they missed out, you know?
Oh yeah.
Because there's so many cool things that I know are going to be happening that I didn't tell anyone about.
Yes.
So I think beating expectations is a big deal. If you can do it, I mean, look, historically in the stock market, you beat expectations, price goes up.
Yep.
In legacy finance.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's true with anything, not just markets.
Might be crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I've gotten a sneak peek at what's coming tomorrow. I'm thoroughly excited. I'm when I asked these the producers, I asked the guys who are throwing this production, hey, are we able to do a live stream for the community? I want the rest of the community that can't make it to be there.
It is nice. Digitally.
Yeah. So we actually hired a professional to come in and set up the live stream and move forward with that. So the venue was okay with that. Yeah. So I'm excited on behalf of the Hexicans to be able to do that.
I mean, look, think about how much money everyone in that room has made.
Yeah.
It is lots. And the Hexicans that I meet up with to just have to chat with, I never have to buy lunch. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like, hey, man, free lunch.
Talking about love being cheap, right?
Thank goodness. I'm cheap, dude. I don't like spending money. So if people buy me free lunch,
don't worry,
I'm
gonna go back to the bathtub later. I'm gonna do some laundry. I'm gonna put it on Twitter for everybody to say, hey, when in Rome.
Yeah, man.
So I'm
saving it.
Just got done talking to the big man Richard himself. So when in Rome, right? I'm gonna do some underwear washing in the tub.
For everyone listening, I published a video of me doing my laundry in the tub on one of my events because like they want to charge you like 20, 30 euros per like a pair of underwear to wash them. Like, I didn't pay that for these. I'm not gonna pay you more than what I bought from you. You know, I got soap, I got water, I'm good.
Absolutely, I can take care of this. So with a big event like this going on, do you ever just step back and take it all in? Or,
no.
Nope. You're in build mode.
Yeah, I got stuff I got to figure out. Like I have technical answers for what percentage is this and what percentage is that. How much are the yield farmers getting paid? I'm focused on Pulse Swap. I'm focused on talking to the devs.
So that leads me to ask you real quick then, what are you most proud of? I mean, I know there's a lot of things you haven't accomplished yet that you're working on that will be accomplished, but what are you most proud of?
I think the community.
Oh, yeah.
Because the community is who is on-ramping all of the users.
Absolutely.
The community is the reason the price has done what it has done.
Yep.
This is not, I'm not paying for any ads. I'm not paying for anything. I'm the minority of the live streams. I'm the minority of the content. I learn things from the community.
Yeah.
I mean, Hexo just yesterday said, oh, you know, it's going to be cool that the sacrifice address gets a copy on Pulse. I was like, never thought of that. It literally never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
So, you know, I learn things from the community that I otherwise wouldn't know. The same with like looking to Hex.com with the historic from the beginning. Here's how Hex is doing versus Bitcoin and versus Ethereum, beating them. I never even drew that chart, right? Like so there's so many things that I'm able to learn from the community that I wouldn't have otherwise known. It's funny because I'm learning about something I designed, I founded, but has all of these other lenses.
Emergent properties.
Right. Yeah. And the thing that I like is, for some reason, it has to be luck. Every time I look at one of these cool things I didn't notice before, it's bullish. So it's like, oh, the AMM is just going to like harvest all the PRC20s?
Sure, why not?
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, sure, why not?
like, and if they didn't like it, they could like use the pulse that they got in return to like reverse the trade or whatever. But like, it's just so. Every time I look at this game theory, it gets cooler and cooler and cooler. And I never run into like, oh, this sucks moment.
Yeah,
like I haven't run into that.
That is really cool to hear. Because you hear the scientist that creates the creature and then grows to resent it later.
Oh yeah, like Frankenstein or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the analogy. Yeah.
Or the column.
But it doesn't look like we're going to have to experience that with any of your amalgamations.
It's like people say, oh, that, you know, they bought early, they're so lucky. You're like, man, I've been getting lucky since my first business out of my front yard. When I retired when I was 25 years old, I must have been real lucky.
Opportunity means preparedness.
I mined Bitcoin in 2011. I must have been real lucky.
Yeah.
And then I called the top on the day on this cycle and last cycle. Must have been real lucky.
I was real lucky to find you in 2017. Yeah. I remember CFD, computational fluid dynamics coin, man.
It was hard.
I was like, I'm all in with that. A useful proof of work. Yeah.
It was too hard.
And then you said, oh wait, I'm going to actually do something that pumps harder and has a use case and replaces a product in the bank.
Right.
I said, well, that's a no-brainer.
Do you want to place? Would you rather replace all of money and all of time deposits or would you rather just do the small sector of CFD? I'd rather.
It's a very small sector too.
Yeah, I'd rather replace all the money.
Yeah,
which I mean that the other one would have kind of addressed, but this is just
time for that. There's time for that after longevity.
Well, you don't need proof of work anymore. Is the deal? You just proof of stake solves all this. So PulseChain is going to solve. It's going to solve pollution. It's going to solve miners dumping the price. It's going to solve too high fees on Ethereum. I mean, look, Ethereum may end up still having high fees, but if we can, get some of their users to use their free coins on this chain with the same code, could reduce the load on the network and reduce the fees.
So you have already taken on some huge momentous projects, and it's taking a life of its own. I'm curious, from a human perspective, how your parents feel about this.
I don't know.
What is the proud factor of your parents?
I mean, they've always been proud of me. I mean, they saw me retire with 150 employees and 60 million a year turnover when I was 25. Yeah. So they're used to me being successful and being rich for decades. Are you sick of winning yet? I love winning. That's my thing. Girls and winning.
Are you tired of winning?
Those are my two things. No, I'm not tired at all. Okay. I wish people would face me in the debates. I wish someone had the balls to step. Like, get me Nouriel Rubini, or get me Peter Schiff, or get me,
you hear this community,
anybody that has a big audience out there that wants to talk poorly of crypto. The guy that did Black Swan, Nassim Taleb.
Yes.
Any of these guys. Let's go.
He's anti-fragile too, isn't he?
Come on, guys. You think you're smarter than me. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I would love to see it. I would pay for those interviews. I guarantee we could crowdfund from the community. That's how great a community we have. Oh, you know what?
You could do that. They actually will let you pay to do that. You can buy Nouriel Rubini. He's for sale. I forgot about that.
A lot of those fake gurus are. Gurus are.
At least Taleb had a fund. People got paid on his long tail risk bets. So at least he put his money where his mouth was. I would give Taleb more respect than Rubini, who just is a talking mouth piece of crap. Or Schiff, who's got the worst performance of any hedge fund manager in the history of hedge fund managing.
His son,
I guess it didn't go
his
to zero.
His son buys Bitcoin, and a year later outperforms his last 20 years.
Yes. Good job, son.
Yeah, exactly right. So back to the parents, and are they aware of all of your accomplishments? Are they aware that you've done self-help and you've changed people's lives? You stopped people from drinking, gambling, playing poker.
My father got me into all the Tony Robbins stuff.
Really?
He to every sales seminar. And when I was playing football, Little League, he was at every, event.
Very supportive.
Ask for a better parent.
That is cool.
No drinking, no gambling, no dishonesty. And then I was always working in teams. And when you live in South Florida, you're working with, you imagine, every single culture, language, lots of different drug addictions. You got alcoholics are different than crack addicts. Yeah. You learn the difference on how to work with those two different people.
Yeah.
Drunks always lose their licenses. The crack addicts seem to hold their licenses for longer. You work with some real different folks in Florida, man. And then, he got me into the best school. He fought really hard to get me into the smartest school. And I literally just made it.
So even young, he knew that you were capable of that.
Well, I mean, in elementary school, they pulled me out of class and gave me a test and were like, you can't be in this school anymore. And sent me off to some smart people school that was funny. It was just all black. So I went to an all black school that had a very small pocket of really smart kids and a gifted program. And it was all black school.
That's cool.
So when I speak different because I grew up speaking different. Yeah. And it's not
you were exposed to real diversity, not this fake pushover.
I mean, I get in arguments with some people online and I'm like, where'd you go to school?
Yeah.
You went to the white kids' school.
Oh, you want to see
we didn't
the
have
real
the same experience. Your school wasn't like my school and you probably didn't talk like I talked. Yeah. And so,
So did you get in a lot of fights?
Not that many, not really.
But you got in fights
a couple times.
Got jumped a couple times.
Yeah, it ain't no fun.
No, it's definitely not. Yeah. But you learn to hold your own.
Well, yeah, I started taking martial arts and then for some reason just didn't get any more fights. Huh. You're like,
do you think that had to be a self-discipline thing on your end? On your part?
I think it was just because the years passed. So yeah, I don't know, actually. I'd have to really think in that.
Well, because I got in a lot of fights young until I started taking self-defense.
Yeah, what is up with, like...
I don't know. And I think to me, it was more of a carrying myself with more confidence and having the discipline to know that this fight isn't worth it. I would waste that kid. Yeah. And just knowing it wasn't worth the time.
Yeah. The funny thing is, the people that actually know about fighting know how quickly it can go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, yeah, if the dude tags you wrong, you go down, you could just be killed. I mean, I saw a video on the internet of a guy that knocked a guy out and then proceeded to break both of his legs, both of his arms, and just mutilated the guy like he was a chicken. Yeah. Just like tore the guy apart. And no one had the balls to step in to because this dude was a monster. Yeah. Right? I hope that guy got a lot of time for that. But yeah. I mean, mutilating a dude that's already unconscious is something that can and will happen to you in the street. Yep. And you don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah. And not just you personally, but you don't want that. You don't wish that on other people.
When you win, you lose. You lose diamonds out of your ring, and then you're searching for them the next day.
I've never been in a fight where I've walked. Well, okay, so that's not necessarily 100% true, but for the most part, you don't walk. There's both parties walk away with some kind of damage. Yes. There's not necessarily almost no one walks away unscathed.
Your clothes are getting messed up. Your phone's getting broken. Yep. The chicks just leave. Like,
they're gone.
Yeah. Like, it ain't good. It ain't good.
Yeah.
You can avoid it.
Absolutely. Well, avoid it like you avoid addiction.
Distance is the best defense.
Absolutely. 100% agree. No. That was the first thing that we learned is get away. That's the first thing.
Run.
If you can avoid it, be done.
Yeah.
And if it comes to it, the next thing is pick something up because it's better to break what's in your hand than your hand itself.
And go first.
Yep. And be the first. Yep. It's the old Israeli adage, Israeli military adage. The guy throwing the most lead down the battlefield is usually the one winning.
Accuracy by volume.
Yeah.
Yep. Used to play paintball too.
Okay.
That's fun.
Love it. Yeah. See, I didn't know this about you. I didn't know about the paintball.
I had a tournament team. We won first and second place. We had to play versus each other in the finals. We had a team A and a team B. We got second in my team, unfortunate. So we got a bunch of paint, and I think we got masks, and the guys that won, I think they actually got auto mags. They got nice paintball guns.
I remember the old auto mags. Yeah. So do you think was this after your love of guns, or was this foster the love of guns?
Well, I wouldn't say love's the right word, but if you're an American and you like power and strength and such, I mean, I had a 37 millimeter grenade launcher. Never had anything to put in it, but it looked cool.
Oh, bet it
You can only put beanbags in it, unless you want to get creative.
Yeah.
And then, AK-47 with beanbags. Drum. You could Chinese drum where it's easy to load because you can flip the side off, put all the rounds in, close it, and then wind it to get the tension.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know. In the States, it's a thing,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
A lot of countries, they don't mess with it.
Yeah, I won't say. I have no guns. I lost them in a boating accident.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say. I have no guns. So I do have a couple quick questions for you on how do you have such granular focus, and how do you clear your head from stress to keep that focus? Because I know you're in constant work mode. Well, my understanding is what I'm hearing is that you're missing meals, you're missing sleep because you are that granularly focused.
I could miss some more meals because these pants are pretty tight. I think I the nutty professor that doesn't do his clothes right and stuff. I don't have a schedule usually, right? So it's rare that I have these events, and that gives me the ability to just focus on the stuff I care about. Yeah. You order food in, you try and combine as many things as you can so that that they're in the right order.
Oh yeah.
So it's more efficient. And then I don't focus on stuff that sucks.
Okay.
So it leaves me.
You do prioritize it then.
Well, yeah, I don't watch sports. You want to talk to me about sports? Yeah, I used to play, but I'm not. So think about how many hours you save. I try to stay away from learning about a lot of current events because there's no value in that. You can't monetize it. And so I choose all the things I'm going to be bad at so that I have more time to be
Do you just wait for those around you to let you know the things that are important? If there's something current event that's relevant, they will let you know about it. So you don't have to waste your time looking for that useless information.
And then if you hire
sifting through useless information.
And if you hire the right guys, you don't even have to. If you hire the right guys, you don't even have to push yourself that hard. And so, for instance, the community is solving a lot of problems that I don't even have to address. Like the community put up a Uniswap front end for Pulse. I didn't have to mess with it.
That's fantastic.
The community found and is hosting a bridge between testnet Ethereum and testnet Pulse.
Fantastic.
I didn't have to mess with it. The community is,
you have a community of go-getters.
Yeah, man.
Like entrepreneurial, like I want to get stuff done and make the world a better place.
And now
I don't see that in other crypto. Well,
now they can get more done.
Yeah. Well, now they have the free time. They're not stuck with a job, a just over broke 40 hours a week, chasing the dollar.
Yep.
So they're able to donate their time. I've gone full-time Discourse Syndicate.
There you go.
Thanks to Hex and thanks to you, Richard. So again, bottom of my heart, thank you.
My pleasure.
You've changed people's lives in ways that it's hard to even convey to those who aren't aware of you and don't know the things that you've done. I want to just touch base on those things again real quick. I mean, you've helped people stop drinking, stop addiction, stop gambling, stop playing video games. You've helped people even before you created a cryptocurrency. You were showing people. I was watching your self-help videos on how to get wealthy and how to run a business long before I was wealthy from any kind of crypto venture.
And all I did was what I said in the video. I literally I had a video called One Way to Get Rich. It told you how I went from living in my dad's front yard or living in the house doing business out of the front yard to, being retired
multiple
at 25.
Digital businesses with millions of dollars of overturn and hundreds of employees.
Do something that's scalable.
Yep.
If you get one customer and it works out right, have some, if you ship boxes, you can ship millions of boxes. But if you haven't hire new employees, it's very hard. And then I just did that myself. Cryptocurrency.
Yep.
You don't even have to ship the boxes.
Yep.
You get digital delivery.
Yeah.
So, I just did the things and used the things that I've been telling other people to do for years. And that's the difference.
Yes.
We don't need a list of new things we're not going to do. We just need to do the things that we know we need to do.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep.
So I know there's a big focus because you're loved of helping people.
Yep.
And first off, do you think that was fostered from your parents? I hate to circle back around, but it just came to me that you had a very honest childhood. You had someone who fought hard for you to put you in the right spots. So you think a lot of this love for humanity, even though there's a lot of let's just be honest. There's a lot of dumb people out there, and you got to save them from themselves. And
it's genetic.
And you think that's
genetic? I think I talk a lot because my dad talked a lot.
Okay.
And I'm super social because he was super social.
Yeah.
And even my last name means person that studies.
Yes, it does.
So I think that my empathy and my desire to help people, my desire to learn, I think it's genetic.
Okay.
And I just happen to have the luck to go with wonderful teachers my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, we learned logic before math. We learned scheme programming.
I like the idea of logic before math. And I've been starting to try to work with my kids about logic, learning logic and hoping that it helps their math skills.
If you've got logic, you can derive math from scratch. Yeah. It's amazing. And so,
if this happens, the consequence of the result is that, right?
I love it. So when you get lucky genetically, and then you just stay engaged and you never give up and you never stop learning, you never stop pushing. I'm always learning. I mean, I've been reading Hacker news.ycombinator.com for years. When I first started reading it, I couldn't understand any of the words.
Couldn't understand any of it.
You're like, and that's where I knew I needed to be.
Yeah.
Like, these are the guys that are building the future. These are the guys that make the highest revenue per seat. These are the guys. This is software. If you look at
that's a neat analytic to look at, to know that you're on the right path.
Well, yeah. The richest people in the world, a third of them are software guys. Software ain't been around that long. And this isn't rent seeking. This is making real innovation, changing the world.
Yeah.
This isn't using regulatory arbitrage to get rich or getting the government to screw some people so that you do okay, which historically is how a lot of wealth was created.
Yeah.
This is actually adding value to the world, making the world a better place. And so I knew software is what I needed to do. And so I just kept reading and reading and learning for years. And then eventually, now's the chance to use it.
Yeah.
So I got to use my marketing background. I got to use my software background. I got to use my
There's so many people in crypto that are clueless. They may be good with code. They're clueless on the externalities that affect it. So what do you think the disconnect is with these software folks who change the world with revolutionary tech and then don't understand that, hey, there's bioscience out here that we can create longevity and we can improve the lives of, not just live longer, but improve the lives of people all around the globe at a net benefit versus having to try to struggle to fight every symptom and just attack the underlying cause. So I agree. Before you answer that, because I want to know your take on why you think there's a disconnect on that, but I want to say congratulations on raising $27 million for the SENS Foundation.
Cash in the bank.
That is amazing.
Cash in the bank.
Yep.
It's a big deal.
Absolutely.
And I don't think I'm done. I mean, I think...
Great. I love to hear that.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of other high impact things that could use more funding. I haven't really thought about this next sacrifice phase is coming up for PulseSwap. I haven't really thought what charity might need to hit, but I like the mechanic. I like the mechanic that everyone can get a write-off.
You do good, get a write-off, and possibly profit from it in the future.
Yeah, possibly profit
exponentially.
A lot. Yeah, it's a really great mechanic.
I mean, if the historic trends continue.
And it's a mechanic I invented.
Yes.
I invented this, and I hope other people use it.
It was brilliant. When it was announced, I was like, oh my gosh, mind blown. How did no one think of this prior to this? So circling back around, how do you...
I get lucky all the time.
I love it.
Constantly lucky.
Well, then I'm just going to continue to ride your coattails if you're all right with that. It may get heavy with all the people on your coattails.
It's like God wants me to win. It's
there
awesome.
You go. Well, you seem to be doing all the right things, and you have the benefit of mankind in mind. I'm a Christ follower, so I believe it is God. But I don't care even as a Christ follower, we believe in karma. You know, do to others as you wish to be done to you. I think if you're
right, I get to go to heaven. Cool. Great. Can't wait.
I'd love to have an in-depth discussion.
I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, man.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was knocking doors. So
that takes. Well, there you go. You were born salesman. You were a trained salesman from a young age. So I would love to have this discussion later. I don't think it fits the time format and everything, but there's a lot of things you've said. I'm like, wait. I don't think we agree on this, and I'd love to discuss it.
Yeah, man, it could get good. And another, we'll do it for sure.
Okay,
I'd love to talk about all this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did we get everything on that list?
Well, obviously there's a recent dip.
Yeah.
We've had a recent dip.
Yes.
Do you think that's correlated? And I don't like to spend a lot of time on this because I think it's irrelevant. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of people asking for it in the chats. Do you think it's relevant to what happened with Nomics, or do you think it's because of the dip that Nomics did this?
No. So here's what happens. Price flops around on its own randomly, and then people have a recency bias to think that whatever was recent is the reason for it. And they usually reverse causality. They usually reverse cause and effect. So
makes sense.
Here's why I think the dip happened.
Let's hear it.
This isn't our first dip. Okay. Our biggest dip was after Big Payday. Okay. What was Big Payday? Everyone's going to get paid more coins. All right.
Yeah.
So what does everyone do? They front run it by buying it early. And what does that do? It moves the price up. And what does that do? Cause more people to buy just because the price went up. And then that gets them to tell friends. And so you get this reflexive pump on a pump on a pump that pushes very hard right before everyone being focused on a single day. And then the day happens, and then what's left? Well, everyone buy it.
Yeah.
So what's left?
Well, there's only sell and then and that's still only news.
Right. Yeah. So you usually have buy the rumor, sell the news events. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's important to understand how that mechanic works because, like in Pulse, the majority, the people that are getting the free thing, like the price is starting at zero, so you can't dump it from zero really. Yeah. And then you have to wait for the first price.
By the way, I love that mechanic.
You already got in at a certain rate. You don't want to sell at a loss, and then you kind of have like a floor mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. So that you don't want to sell based upon your sacrifice.
Yeah. So like, what I think was we have a lot of gatekeeping in Hex, which is an opportunity. Mm-hmm. When those gates fall, that's extra ROI, in my opinion. And so someone was able to mail to people around all the gatekeeping. And then I think hundreds of thousands of people discovered Hex and Pulse that never had heard of it before.
And community members are onboarding no coiners like rapid numbers that I've never seen with another crypto community.
And you combine that with PulseChain launch and people thinking that because you can sacrifice Hex, people will pump the price of Hex so they get more value for their sacrifice, which kind of looks like happened. Like I saw a big red candle and then a big red candle the same size.
Yeah.
And it looked like someone bought it to pump it and then sold it at the same volume. I don't really know. I didn't do the chain analysis, but that's what it looked like on the chart. And so when you combine getting around the gatekeepers with having a reason to pump the Hex price to get more value for your sacrifice, with doubling your coins on 2 chains, and everyone's focused on kind of a single time, you're going to get a big spike up.
Yeah.
You got a huge spike up. And then what happens after a huge spike? You're going to have a dip. That's how they work.
Yes.
And you still want them, right?
Yes, absolutely. Shake out some weekends, get some new people in.
So when these noobs that got in at the latest possible moment buy the top and sell the bottom, guess who got their money? The people that delayed gratification got in earlier and waited. Everybody that's seen 1,000,000% gains in Hex has sat through vicious dips over and over and over again.
Not just that, attacks from the industry as a whole.
And this has been on the website for years. For years on the websites, it said the amazing gains that you've gotten in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Hex have come from sitting through these giant dips.
Absolutely.
This is not a free ride. There is volatility. Lucky for you, it's mostly to the upside. So, I mean, there's
still a potential for another buy the rumor, sell the news event.
Sure.
I hear there's a new network coming out. Could you tell me something about that?
And if Hex pumped for the last sacrifice, why wouldn't it pump for this one?
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Great question.
I mean, my guess is it might. So these are guesses.
So one mechanic that we've run into, I wasn't even going to talk about this except in private, but with the Hex Investment Trust, which we're not sure we're going to call that yet.
It only buys Hex and never sells it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. But we had
and you can get wires from institutional people.
Oh, yeah. It's straight 401ks and IRAs.
Love everything about it.
Directly into it, so they indirectly have exposure to the mad gains of crypto.
Love everything about it.
So our problem that we're looking at now is there's just not enough liquidity for us to come in and buy when we're buying big bulk
limit orders.
That's true.
Just
we're going to
put
have
those limit orders and hope. I mean, there's only 80 million for sale in Uniswap V3, and that's actually not much. Like, it ain't much in the grand scheme of things.
Nope.
And then maybe, I'm not sure.
It's not a lot at all.
V2. Yeah.
It's not when you're talking big institutional money coming in.
Yeah, but just your only hope is to set limit orders and hope people hit them, because sometimes liquidity will attract players that otherwise couldn't play. And so if you just put a big, massive bid there, you might pump the price against you a little bit, but you also might actually get filled by some other whale that otherwise was like, oh, I could either nuke the price to zero or wait for somebody like you. So
put a giant buy wall in there.
Like if you hit a giant buy wall there and it doesn't work, you can always pull it.
That's true. Other than the gas fee.
Well, no fee. There's no fee to put those walls.
On V3 or on Matcha?
Well, on Matcha.xyz and 1inch.io.
Yeah, explain this to the community just a little bit.
Sure. So if you want to buy Hex without paying any gas fee, you can place orders on Matcha.xyz. So if you have USDC, it's free. If you have ETH, you have to turn it into wrapped ETH, which is like, very cheap, like $10, super low gas cost to do it. And then I think the cheapest way to do it is on Uniswap, actually. It's a little bit more efficient to turn ETH into wrapped ETH. And it's not, there's no counterparty risk. It's just a smart contract that wraps and unwraps it. So it's just a little tiny bit of smart contract risk.
Yeah.
But not like every single ETH liquidity in Uniswap V3 is wrapped ETH, including V2. V3 and V2 wrap and unwrap all the ETH into WETH.
Okay.
So there's no actual ETH in those systems. It's actually all WETH.
It's all
in Uniswap V2 and V3. It's all wrapped Ethereum. Okay. Yeah, because you only have to write one code base. So it's just easier to write one code base to handle all the ERC20s and make Ethereum an ERC20 than to make a special case with just extra attack surface just for ETH.
Yep, that makes sense.
So
how do you set it without
it? Approve it. You sign a statement that says, I don't live in the States if you're in 1inch.
Yeah.
Or if you're on Match, I don't think they have that. And then you tell it, I want to be able to spend this amount. You can set how much of it you want it to be able to spend. Like, I want to be able to spend this much, and the contract can pull this much Hex or this much USDC out. Right. And then I want to set you just tell it this much Hex at this price, limit, and it places it, and you click yes, approve. And now you've got a limit order sitting there.
I haven't set up on the buy side yet, so I did not know this. This is great information for me. I had no clue.
So the difference is the price has to move a little bit past your limit to afford for the arbitrage bot to pay the gas to fill it. So you're not going to pay gas, but the arb bot is. And so it has to move a little bit past your price.
So there's profit.
But you're still going to get, you're still going to get filled at your price or nothing. Okay. So you're either going to get filled at your price or you're not going to get filled.
That's what you hear a lot of the community members say, oh, it didn't fill my limit order because it probably didn't go enough past it.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. That's great.
And if they have a small order, then it needs to move a lot more past to make up for how crap their small order is.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's no money for the ARB bot in a small order.
Absolutely.
So the larger your order is, the more likely you're to get filled. The smaller your order is, the less likely you are to get filled.
Fantastic, guys. Yeah. Some how-to tips and tricks from Richard Heart.
The problem with V3 is if you use that to do your limits, you've got to be watching it to pull the liquidity after it fills, or it'll unfill if it goes the other way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the upside to that is that you're not paying the ARB bot and you are making 0.3% extra from the fee.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think for most new people, probably match.xyz is the easiest
Simpler
way.
user interface.
Way easier.
Yeah.
You can't be sitting there waiting for your order to fill all the time. That sucks.
You know? Yeah. Well, then that just goes back to that trading game that Hex has eliminated.
Yep. Well, Hex eliminated it, but boy, a lot of people in Hex trading, t.me/Hex trading.
There's a lot, like thousands.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because the good ones are doing very well. They're doing very well.
I still think trading is death.
I agree. I found that I did not have an aptitude for it.
No one does. Everyone loses. It's a net negative game. It's not good.
And a lot of lost hours, lots of relationship lost. There's...
Just do a search for Richard Heart Trading Destroys, and you'll see my video that was originally my anti-poker video.
Yeah.
But then I just retitled it the anti-trading video. I got a lot of people to stop playing poker, but I think I got more people to stop trading.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So
you lose your health, you lose your relationships, you lose your money. You're paying to destroy your life. You're like, and then you get a paid group to pay you to lose even more.
Yeah, or buy them a steak dinner, which I will not say. I will not say. I will not give airtime to that scammer.
Yeah.
That's funny you say that. So we have some guys that are really good with TA in the community.
Yep.
And what I do like about them, we've got one, Jameson Brandon, who works with our channel. I don't know. He started the Crypto Junkies channel. We ended up buying that property from him, intellectual property.
Cool.
We let him back in as a business partner because he's amazing at the back end building channels. Yeah. And he is a really good TA guy. He doesn't do a lot of trading himself, but he likes to affirm to others, like, hey, let me show you the technicals on here and why Hex don't fudge yourself out of this. And then a lot of it points back to the same or a similar chart. Hey, dips are in the game. It's going to happen.
Yeah. If you don't want dips, you also don't want mag gains. They are related to each other.
Great point. That volatility is what ratchets that price.
Yep. You cannot have. There ain't no way to get rid of dips. You're not going to do it. The S&P 500 didn't figure it out. So good luck. You think you're figuring it out.
Good point. Great point.
And we do have mechanics that no other thing has. We have a chart of future market supply.
Yep.
People can slot their end stakes where there's less sell pressure that can reduce volatility. But as long as whales are still buying this price up and putting big spikes, one mail out went out and it went out at one time. And then it caused buying over this range of time.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get those spikes and they're a feature, not a bug.
I love that. They're a feature, not a bug, guys.
Yeah.
So we'll just wrap it up here. I know you're busy. I'm really excited about tomorrow. I hope you're as excited as I am.
I'm probably not.
Okay.
I'm lame. I can't. When I get there,
feign some excitement here, Richard. Feign it.
When I get out of the Phantom Rolls Royce onto the red carpet in my sequin suit, then I'll be more excited.
All right.
Because I'm like always skeptical, right? Like I'm figuring the rolls ain't going to show up.
Well, you've been skeptical with us. Even I want to do this right now. I think this is perfect for our community. Yeah. You've been even skeptical with me and RG3. We've given blood, sweat, and tears for the last 2 years to you. And even there's sometimes we reach out and we're excited about something and you're like,
I'll see it when it comes out.
Yeah, when it happens, I'll be excited about it. Almost verbatim the response we get from you, 5 words. I hope it happens. Yeah, or something silly.
Stuff is hard. Like I tried to start exchanges and then I got hung up and I'm like, all right, I'll get back to it. But like, I know how hard things are to do and I will be excited for them when they're very close to fruition. When I see the Phantom out front of the hotel, then I will be very excited.
Well,
until then, my brain is like, I'm going to end up having to rent a Yaris real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be walking in the rain in my sequin suit.
I love it. I love it. Can anybody from our community imagine that picture? Well, Richard Hart walking in the rain in the sequin suit.
This is why Hex has perfect and flawless operation, is because we preemptively thought of everything that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And when you have that mindset of focusing on what could go wrong, then you don't have to deal with things actually going wrong. Like you've got
great point.
Yeah. It's just
a managing those expectations.
Exactly. And then when you beat everyone's expectations, it's even better.
Great. Yeah. Under promise, over deliver?
Yes, sir. If you can. You can't just do it with software timing, but everything else you can.
Fantastic. Yep. So I'm hearing from you maybe 3 months if things go smooth. Yes.
And here's the thing: you're going to have a granular knowledge. You're going to see is PulseChain V2 out? Okay. Can I see my balances? Are my balances accurate? Do I see Uniswap that I can test on PulseChain? Do I see go to hex.com that I can test on PulseChain testnet? Do I see Pulse Swap or whatever it's called?
See real work going.
And then boop, boop, boop. If you've got Bridge, Uniswap, Pulse Swap, and go to hex.com.
Okay.
And after 2 weeks, nobody's got any bugs, everyone's happy with their balances, announce its fork and go mainnet.
That's fantastic.
So you're going to have granular, it's not going to be all or nothing.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And most of the stuff is already on testnet. So we have Bridge on testnet. We have
been playing with it a little bit.
Right.
And it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. It's kind of neat.
I need to tweet the URL so other people can hit it.
Yes, absolutely. What is that URL?
It's a long, it's not a word. It's like some long.
It's a hash,
right?
Essentially.
Yeah, it needs to have a URL pointed at it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's great. So I guess the last question is, it looks like you're not buying another supercar until there's a back seat. So when Lambo, sir? Is Lambo got a back seat vehicle coming out?
I think I'll get it. I think my next car will be a convertible Rolls.
Okay.
I think. Because I don't have a convertible, so
I
think that's my next one. But I got a test drive one. I haven't driven it yet.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing it. And then I'll put a bid in for that too. Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thanks
I appreciate it, man.
Letting me fly halfway across the world so I can come to this event. I'm going to actually be the MC. I will be introducing you. So bringing you onto stage.
Well, I don't know if it is better. You actually have to work. I don't know. Are you going to have time to chill?
Trust me, that went through my mind. Yeah. Like, oh man, all the cool Hexicans are going to be hanging out. I'm going to be up on stage like a little streaming monkey. It's
like being at the VIP in the club. You're like, but all the girls are down there.
But the girls aren't in the VIP.
I want to go there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
How do you get them up here?
Protecting the bottle. Like, hey, who are you? Get away from the bottle. I don't want to be bottle security. You know? I want to be talking to the girls.
Absolutely. But that's all right. There's plenty of time I hear afterwards too. So we're going to have a great event. So hex731gathering.com. We need more tickets. Absolutely. Let's get it sold, get the venue sold out.
Yep.
I know a lot of people really wanted to be here. Just travel restrictions put a kibosh on a lot of people's plans. But we're going to make this happen. So it's already looking successful.
This COVID stuff really makes doing everything hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's okay because we got the mad gains to make up for it.
Yeah. We're going to be okay. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. It's a lot easier to get around knowing that money's just not an issue.
All these guys spend more on everything than me, by the way. They all have better cars. I have the cheapest Ferrari. I have like
your Ferrari's worth more than my F-150, but my F-150 is pretty badass, and they can go places that Ferrari can't go.
Didn't you just post a picture in business class? I didn't fly here in business class, bro.
I did.
The plane I was on didn't even have a business class.
Yeah, it was kind of nice. They even had Casper mattresses and everything, man. It was wonderful. But I'm the dummy that, paid for the luxury for a real sleep and then only slept 2 hours on the flight.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah, that was me.
I'm the guy that's always wanted to bother you. Like, hey, where are you from?
Yeah. I like those guys on the plane. Maybe it's just because I'm a social creature, but I like
people trying to read book. You're like, but how's that book? Hey, what's going on in there?
Put that book down. I want to know about you. I want to know more about you.
I'm social, man. Bro, so much. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you're building an absolutely perfect idea. Like the trust idea is so very, very good, and it works so very, very well for Bitcoin. I would love to have that in the Hex arsenal.
Yes, and it's going to work better with the mechanics of Hex. It'll work better for Hex.
Well, you're adding. If you're doing 15-year stakes, you're adding value above and beyond what a normal speculative instrument would. Yep. And you're giving people
not just for the investors of the trust, but also for the actual coin investors.
It's so good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I got the idea from you, my friend. So
I got
keep putting out that list of things that you want to get accomplished, and the things we're working on that too. That I don't want to set too high expectations, but we are working on that portion as well.
Thank you, man.
So, absolutely.
Seeing you, bro.
Thank you. Have a great one. See you, Hexicans. Thank you so much.
Should we shill URLs, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, listen.
First yours.
Free books, t.me/scivive, SCIVIVE, t.me/hexcrypto, t.me/PulseChain.com, t.me/PulseSwap, twitter.com/RichardHartWin, Instagram.com/RichardHartOfficial. I need more followers on there, so...
Instagram, guys. Richard Hart on Instagram.
And
I don't even like Instagram, and I signed up just so I could follow Richard Hart.
Thank you. Sacrifice phase for PulseSwap, a few weeks.
Yep.
What do you got?
We got Discourse Syndicate Network.com or DSN.rocks.
Okay.
We're putting together a collaboration with Crypto Junkies. Trying to bring.
I saw the shirt.
Yeah. Fortunately, we are trying to show people what they want.
Are these junkies that are into crypto, or are these people that are normal people?
We take all crypto junkies, bro. Why do I have to distinguish between the two? Why not just take them all?
Yeah.
So we want to show them what they think they need, and then give them what they really need, and point them back to Hex. That's the point of that. Yep, exactly. That's the point of that channel. Keep it separate, because Discourse Syndicate is going to stay dedicated to Hex and Pulse and the Richard Hart products. We are Richard Hart maximalists.
Right? Yeah.
Yes,
it's funny that's a thing. Yeah, but I'm living that dream too. So.
Well, if you weren't truthful in everything and you weren't able to execute so well, it may be a different conversation we were having right now.
Yep.
So. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
find us on YouTube, Discourse Syndicate, guys. That's the best place to find us right now, and we'll give more details when that Hex Trust is available. We're helping individuals through what's called Mountain Crypto Advisors. We set up with some professionals in tax and trust law. And
if you guys need to save money on tax, I think that's what he's telling you.
And that's the bait. That's the beauty of this thing. So that's the bait is, hey, we can show you how to stay in the United States, not give up your citizenry, and save on taxes. But we can also help you protect your assets, your legacy wealth to hand off the estate to the next generation. We can protect against all kinds. We're even starting to protect against people getting audited at this point in time, and we're creating investment funds outside of that other people are bringing money into.
Hexicans are so rich.
Yes,
asset protection and state management is
so important. You know how this all started? Me, RG, and Hexo, we were looking for the solution for ourselves, and these guys said, "Hey, we do this in the real world with legacy finance, and you know the crypto side. Let's partner." And we said, "Hey, this is a match made in heaven."
It's a good match.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody.
All right, thanks guys for joining us. We'll see you.